Good morning, everybody. This Trudeau Townhall took place on January 10th, and I can't believe that I missed it. Like, there's so much going on, honestly. I feel like I'm behind. I really do. But this town hall, I think, lays bare the strategy. And the strategy is rephrase the question to the question you want to answer, and then answer that question enthusiastically, right? Okay. So here is a woman, and we're going to fact check her question before Trudeau answers. But the reason I'm going to show you Trudeau's answer is because he talks about honesty and quote unquote, real facts and fake news and misinformation. He doesn't use the term fake news. He uses misinformation and lots of, bad information out there. So they don't want to use fake news because they're going to get jeered if they do, because we know the game is up. We know that they're the ones who produce the fake news, right? They're the ones who are trying to turn the narrative into what they control. So this woman lays it bare. She calls him a liar. She says, we used to hang traitors for treason there, Mr. Trudeau, and you should be hung. And wow, to his face. And he just carries on like nothing's been said. It's pretty crazy. So we're going to fact check her question, and then we're going to listen to Trudeau's garbage, because just the way he restates the question to make it the question he wants to answer, we're going to look at that and we're going to examine that a little bit because it's worthwhile. He talks about, she asks why he sold us out to globalists, basically. And like that's verbatim what she asks him. And we're going to look at that in more detail at the end after listening to his answer, because I think it's worthwhile. So, but first, before we get into it, come and join CanadaPoly.com. We are a private forum. A private forum means you have to register to join us. But once you register, you'll have access to all of our conversations, everything we're talking about and discussing, links we're sharing. I abhor censorship. I really do. And I find the modern internet to be a place where censorship is rampant. So I created this place to hopefully have uncensored conversations about Canadian politics and other things too, but mostly Canadian politics. All right, back to Justin Trudeau's disastrous, ridiculous answer, but worth watching because it lays the game bare. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I'm just like, it's so hard to be patient here with all of these lies. Okay. Yes, that is one question. Why are we buying oil from Saudi Arabia, Mr. Trudeau? Number 2 question. I just read a report from Ontario where you said Sharia law was compatible with Canadian values. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Sorry. We're going to let her speak, and then we're
Number three question, Mr. Trudeau.
Okay.
Is you've sold us out to globalism.
Okay.
You are not working for Canada. You are working for your globalist partners. I wonder how much they're paying you to betray Canada. Okay. What do we do with traitors in Canada, Mr. Trudeau? We used to hang them for treason. And you're doing that very same thing to us now.
Okay.
We know what you're doing. But you can start with the oil question first.
Okay, so I just want to fact check before he answers because his answers are all lies. Here's the National Post reporting in August 2018. Over the last 10 years, Canada has spent $20.9 billion on Saudi crude, and that's between 2007 and 2017, and that's Statistics Canada figures. Okay, so we're going to do the math on that. So $20 billion divided by 10 for each year. How much do we spend each year? Oh, $2 billion. Okay, $2 billion. And then let's divide that monthly. How much is our monthly bill? I said previously, and I think that the National Post was reporting $300 million a month. It looks to be $174 million a month. So maybe they were high. Maybe they had more modern figures. This is only to 2017. And this was just quick. So we spent $174 million a month on Saudi oil. The answer, or the question he wants to answer, is why is Quebec buying Saudi oil? And he answers that emphatically. The other one is she says that she read a report, and I couldn't find a report talking about Sharia law specifically. But here's Justin Trudeau talking about how Islam and the West are compatible. And credit to Jonathan Haliviv. I think I've used his stuff before, but you know what? I'm not going to actually play it, but the link is in the description. This is a montage of Justin Trudeau saying Islam is not incompatible with Western secular democracy. And I'm just not going to play it because I don't want to get a copyright ting. And the last part is the treason. Apparently, since 1985, we haven't been hanging anybody for treason. We've been putting them in prison for life. So that's the current punishment for treason. So knowing all of that, and then the globalist question is, well, we'll see where he goes with it, and then I will show you what I think the question was. Here we go.
Okay. It's interesting that you started with concerns about facts and truth in answers and in our approach. And if we're going to have rigorous debates about what the best way is forward for the country, I think we need to do it around the facts. Now, there is a lot of misinformation out there that talks about, among others, Quebec as being reliant on Saudi oil, and that's a problem for Canada and a big issue. That is false. Quebec actually gets its oil from the United States and from Western Canada. The reversal of the Line 9 pipeline actually means over the past 3 years, Quebec has gotten 3 times as much oil from the oil sands as it ever had before. So the games being played around misinformation for political partisan reasons out there, and I certainly don't blame you, man, because these so-called facts are floating around here, and that's one of the good things about having an opportunity to engage and to ask blunt questions about things that you may have seen or heard on the internet. And I'm happy to tell you that is simply not true. Quebec gets its oil from the United States and from our oil sands. Secondly, you had a question. Your third question was on globalism. Oh no, your second question was on Sharia law. I am pleased to be able to tell you that that also is not something that I ever said. So there is, again, misinformation out there that as citizens, we should be skeptical. I know you could be skeptical. You should be skeptical about what any politician says, including me. You should be looking into what the facts are. You should be a responsible consumer of information. It's your responsibility as a citizen to be thoughtful and engaged and listening to a broad range of perspectives and looking at the facts so you can make a determination about how we can move forward best as a country. And in the upcoming election, I hope that people will question what all different politicians say and try and see who might be telling the truth, who might be twisting the truth or misrepresenting facts in a way that is designed to divide, to make fearful, to polarize debate, rather than trying to find solutions that are bringing us together. And that's something you need to be worried about. On the third question around global government, yeah, that's something that we've seen also floating around in certain corners of the internet. I assume it refers to some of the commitments and some of the leadership that Canada has shown internationally around migration issues. As I said earlier, Canada is one of those countries that has done a better job on immigration than just about any other country. And Canadians, for the most part, are extremely positively inclined towards immigration because we know it has been a tremendous benefit economically to our country over the past years and decades and even generations. So the idea that we're somehow giving up sovereignty is yet again another thing designed to create fear and division, and I would encourage all Canadians as citizens to be thoughtful and skeptical about what they are reading on the internet and what they actually hear from politicians whenever they engage in public discourse. Thank you very much. You in the peach shirt, right?
Thank you very much. Talk about dismissive. So no, I think what she was referring to was your ties with George Soros, our Chrystia Freeland's ties with George Soros. Have you guys seen this? She's very close, been groomed for a while by Mr. Soros. And here's an 42-minute long interview. Oh, isn't she interested? I've seen that legs crossed on a chair on stage before, right, Miss Freeland? During many, many ridiculous interviews. So, and the Global Compact for Migration is the crown jewel in the globalist plan, and Mr. Soros is, by many, many accounts, the guy who's running the globalist plan. So that's what she was talking about, sir. And really, I mean, the rephrasing of the questions to answer the questions that you want are interesting. Maybe I'll play the audio of this off screen with a picture of Justin Trudeau, just so we can all be sure that he definitely believes that Islam is compatible with Western secular culture.
Canadians are quick to point out that ISIS is wrong, that Islam is not incompatible with a Western secular democracy, a free place
but
like
on the
Canada.
other hand, we need to make sure that we're working with communities like the Muslim community, for example, to demonstrate that that Islam is not incompatible with free and open Western societies.
So it's interesting that he can basically call that woman a liar, say, listen, you've been a victim of hearing misinformation from that evil, evil internet. Let me rephrase your question to disprove the implications that you're making in your question, and then move on from your question without really touching on it. It's really interesting, right? He rephrased the, why are we buying Saudi oil to, why are we giving Quebec Saudi oil? And he said, no, we're not. We are not. But we're still spending $175 million at least a month on Saudi oil, right? $20 billion over 10 years. So why are we doing that? We're an oil-rich country. Why are we landlocking our oil, Mr. Trudeau? That's on you. It's really pretty simple. So, and the globalist ties and the Sharia law, the obvious, it's very clear what the plan is. And it's very clear that Canada doesn't want this. And no amount of town halls and no amount of lying to Canadians is going to change your political nightmare for the next 10 months or so. So check out the People's Party of Canada.ca. Maxime Bernier raised $100,000 in 24 hours. Is that unbelievable? $100,000. Congratulations, Mr. Bernier. That's fantastic. I'm excited. I'm excited to be a part of it. I am an EDA president, and it's really cool. It's really, really cool. So interesting times we live in, and hopefully we will be able to right this ship if this ship is rightable. I mean, can they save Europe? Is Europe savable? Can the United States withstand the globalist onslaught? I mean, really, these are the questions of the day. And the question is open. I don't know the answers to those questions. I don't know if it's in time to save a Canada that I grew up in. Right? My kids are growing up in a fundamentally different country. Their kids will grow up in an even more different country. Is there time? We can't go back, but can we save the culture? Or is it too late? I don't know. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good Sunday.